Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, first, thanks to both of you for your service. Secretary Wormuth, are you aware that the administration's released a draft regulation that would require contractors to report, defense contractors, to report on their greenhouse gas emissions for the weapon systems they make and also set emission reduction targets? Are you aware of that regulation?
Senator, I don't think that I'm aware of that specific proposal at this time. It hasn't come to my attention.
It's a draft proposal, but essentially, if we're going to make contractors track their emissions on the weapon systems they make, as well as from their suppliers, aren't we starting now to prioritize, I guess, emission standards over weapons performance?
Well, Senator, without seeing the specifics of the draft, I can't really speak to the implications of it. I mean, for example, if contractors are being asked to just track their emissions and maybe report them, that's different from having some sort of a consequence if their levels are deemed to be, not acceptable. So I think I would just need to know a little more about the specifics.
Tracking the emissions and setting standards for like munitions and bombs and things like that, we're going to now make that a factor in deciding which ones that the military procures, and won't that affect both the effectiveness of those weapon systems for our warriors as well as the cost?
Well, Senator, again, I haven't seen the proposal, so I hesitate to comment on it. What I will say is, obviously, our soldiers need to have the best possible equipment to defend this country, and I would want to make sure that that's what we would put our emphasis on.
Thank you. Thank you. And then, General, so I was just in South Korea and Taiwan. Taiwan's ordered and is paying for, I think, on the order of $19.5 billion worth of military hardware that they want to use, obviously, to counter aggression by the PRC China in the Taiwan Strait. And obviously, we're working with other allies in the Indo-Pacific. Japan, Philippines president is here now, and so forth, to deter China's aggressive behavior. One of the issues is getting those munitions. So it's not just about modernizing our forces, which we must do, and obviously this committee funds that effort and is working with you to do it. It's also providing those enhanced armaments to our friends, our allies, partners, and friends, that should sound familiar to you, in the Indo-Pacific. By the same token, we need and are providing assistance to Ukraine, but they're needing to procure these weapon systems as well. And we're modernizing our forces. That puts a real strain on the supply chain. What are we doing? What can we do to expedite that, which is crucially important in Ukraine right now? It's crucially important in the Indo-Pacific right now, and it's crucially important to our own forces and making sure they have the very best armaments.
Well, so I think it's really important that we invest in our organic industrial base, and as we talk and for the long term, and as we.
Sir, I agree with the investment, but my question is, we need to expedite the production now. That's what can we do to expedite the production now with the investment we're making is my question, sir.
Yeah, I guess my response, having watched this, is the defense industry doesn't operate on enthusiasm. They want contracts. They want long-term contracts so they can invest in their systems. And when they see that, we're starting to ramp up. We're doing it for 155 rounds. We're doing it on some of the systems that we're doing right now. And I think it's very, very important that we project outwards. In some cases, with multi-year contracts, that helps. They know that when they invest this year, they're going to have a 3 or 4 or 5 year funding stream that's going to allow them to invest and ramp up these capabilities. And we also need to work with our allies and partners to make sure they're doing the same thing in their organic industrial base, because these countries need to have the capabilities, which is weapon systems. They need to have the capacity, which is enough of them. They need to have the competence in those weapon systems, and their soldiers need to have the will to fight if they're going to defend their country.
For both of you, are we providing the assistance in terms of the weapon systems requested by Ukraine to end the conflict so that they can be successful rather than stalemate? And I would ask for you, Secretary, and then you, General.
Senator, I believe that we are providing the Ukrainians with what they need to fight against the Russians. So, you know, we are giving them systems, and certainly the Army is giving them
Win
systems.
versus stalemate now.
I
Not
think,
just a
you know,
stalemate.
we want to see the Ukrainians prevail, obviously. I think that is in the national interest of the United States, to do more than achieve a stalemate. You know, we can't let there can't be a precedence of being able to just declare that a country doesn't exist. So we need to give them the equipment they need to defeat the Russians, and I think that we are doing that.
General?
I would add, it's not just the equipment, it's the training. And what we're seeing is a lot of higher level combined arms training up to the brigade level, and in another, you know, venue, we give you the exact numbers, but we have significantly increased their capability to do combined arms operations at the brigade level and above.
Again, thanks to both of you. Thank you, Mr.